Good day. I am Dr.K Gireesh, physician, neurophysician and neurosurgeon. This is the RNA series number 43. Now RNA means the random questions in neurology and neurosurgery with answers by Dr. K Gireesh. This is to benefit the practitioners of neuroscience and the medical field for a lifelong learning and also for public awareness. The question that I'm addressing in this, give a brief overview of the memory, the mechanisms, the types of memory especially. Memory is the ability, the definition of memory, it is the ability of the brain to encode, store and retrieve information. It forms the foundation for learning, identity and intelligence. Now you have one or two interesting classifications of memory broadly. One is based on the duration. The one is sensory memory. It is less than a second. It is large but very brief. It's like a flash of a lightning or a hearing of a sound. That's all. And the areas that are involved are the sensory cortices like visual, auditory, somatosensory. The second one is a short-term memory, which will be around 20 to 30 seconds. About 5 to 9 items will be there. See, like the 7 plus 2 rule. Remembering a phone number briefly. That's all short-term memory. Usually the prefrontal cortex and the parietal lobe will be involved. The third one is the working memory. Seconds to minutes. Again, it's limited. It's doing like mental arithmetic calculations, multi-step involvements. All these are working memories. Dorsolateral prefrontal cortex has been found to be involved, as well as the anterior cingulate gyrus. And the fourth one is a long-term memory, LTM, minutes even to lifetime. Virtually, it is unlimited, the capacity. Like the childhood memories, various knowledges, what you have learned in your particular subject. And usually it is from the hippocampus encoding and it goes into the neocortex. Various places it is being stored. So you have, based on the duration, the sensory memory, which lasts than a second, short-term memory, 20 to 30 seconds, working memory, seconds to minutes, and the long-term memory, minutes to a lifetime. The other is based upon the consciousness, explicit memory, implicit memory. Explicit means declarative memory. Explicit can be episodic or semantic. Now what is episodic memory? That is the personal events or experiences of birthday, remembering that. Like, example, college graduation. These are all episodic memory. Again, hippocampus and the medial temporal lobe will be involved. The other is the semantic memory, another form of explicit memory. That is meanings and concepts, semantic. The capital of India, like is New Delhi, like this, remembering facts and figures. Temporal and the frontal cortex are involved. So you have explicit, episodic, semantic. Then there is the implicit memory, which is otherwise called as a non-declarative memory. Procedural, priming and conditioning. Now what is procedural memory? Skills and habits, riding a bicycle, swimming, the basal ganglia and cerebellum are involved. In a nutshell, in one sentence, to tell about the function of basal ganglia is the execution of learned motor plans, automatic execution of learned motor plans. That is in fact the function of basal ganglia. So procedural memory is all the skills, habits like driving, swimming, all those. Priming is unconscious influence of a prior exposure, like a word completion or a brand recognition, like that. That is again neocortex is involved. And the third one is conditioning, learned reflexes and associations. See, for example, a bell, Pavlov rings a bell and then the dog is given food. Second day rings a bell, dog is given food. Third day rings a bell, saliva already occurs. That is called conditioning. This is again a form of implicit memory wherein amygdala and the cerebellum are involved. So that is in fact another classification of memory, explicit, explicit and implicit. Explicit can be episodic, semantic. Implicit can be, again, non-declarative, that is procedural, priming, and conditioning. These are the various types of memory. Now let's see the stages of memory processing. Encoding, storage, retrieval. It's like registration, retention, and retrieval. Now encoding or registration, that is transforming the input into a storable form. And then storage, maintaining the information over the time. And then of course retrieving. Now each one of these can get affected in certain diseases. Like encoding, you find registration, like attention deficits where the encoding is very deficient. Storage, where you find is disrupted in Alzheimer's disease. Retrieval, it found is impaired in amnesia, depression, and so on. Now, the neural basis, you find hippocampus is involved in the consolidation of the short-term and the long-term memory. Amygdala, the emotional tagging of the memories. Prefrontal cortex, working memory and organization. Cerebellum and basal ganglia, that's the motor learning and the procedural memory. And temporal neocortex is the storage of semantic memories. These all have been found scientifically. When there is Alzheimer's disease, there is a progressive loss of the episodic memory, recent episodic memory. Korsakoff syndrome, you find confabulation and antegrade amnesia occurs. This occurs due to thiamine deficiency. Temporal lobe epilepsy, distorted autobiographical memory. Head injuries, retrograde and anterograde amnesia can occur. And psychogenic amnesia, selective loss due to emotional trauma. Now, how to strengthen the memory? There are various methods. Number one is meditation and mindfulness. Mindful meditation improves the hippocampal function. Physical exercise increases the blood flow and neurogenesis. Adequate sleep is another one. Sleep consolidates the memory, besides removing the toxic products through lymphatic system. Brain healthy diet, omega-3 fatty acids, very important. Antioxidants, vitamin B12 and E. Continuous learning stimulates the brain, kindles newer connection sets in. Neuroplasticity, it stimulates. Social interaction and altruism boost the cognitive reserve. So these are all some of the methods for strengthening the memory. Meditation and mindfulness, physical exercise, adequate sleep, brain healthy diets, continuous learning, social interactions, and altruism. Well, you must understand, memory is not a single box. It's a dynamic orchestra of brain networks. Repetition strengthens the memory. Emotion engraves, and sleep preserves the memory. That's in fact, ladies and gentlemen, that's in brief on memory. Thank you.